In this Programming for Artists tutorial, we're going to introduce functions. We've already used functions in our p5.js examples, but now we're going to talk about exactly what functions are, how we can use them, both to organize our code and to make our code more reusable. What is a function? If we go to the p5.js reference, it says a function is a set of statements that performs a task. It also says that functions can have parameters. Parameters are variables that are scoped to the function and can be assigned a value when calling the function. What does that mean? Assigning a value, calling a function, having parameters? We've already used many functions in our sketches. Here, setup is a function, draw is a function, create canvas is a function. Create canvas has two parameters, 600 and 600. This is the width and height, and then it does something. We also have used circle, so we've used functions in p5.js. What does it mean to call a function? On the screen here, when we say create canvas, that means we're calling the function. We're going to ignore function setup and function draw right now because those are special case functions in p5.js. So right now I have some variables in the sketch, and then in the function draw, I call other functions including fill, rect, stroke, circle, and inside the draw function, all of these use variables that they pass to their respective p5.js functions, and I get a drawing of a truck. But this is a lot of code to scroll through. Of course, there are better ways to draw a truck. Just to learn about functions, we can organize this code in a little bit better way so we can kind of understand what's happening in the draw function. So let's talk about actually declaring a function and then calling it. When we see function setup and function draw, that's declaring a function. It's telling what the function is and then what's inside it. So we could declare our own function. We could break up this code into the backdrop, the wheels, the cab, and then the dump frame. How would we do that? So first, let's just draw those functions at the bottom of the screen. So we'll go all the way down to the bottom. The syntax for declaring a function in JavaScript is to write function, and then the name, two parentheses, and then two curly braces. So now anything I put inside draw cab will happen with draw cab. I can duplicate this. I'm going to turn off auto refresh for right now. I can now paste this function in a couple more times, and then I can rename these. I can call this draw wheels, draw dump, draw background. Now I have four functions that are declared. I'll click edit, tidy code. So now after I've tidied my code, I need to fill these braces with something. So right here, I have draw dump frame. I can just highlight this code, press Command X, and then inside draw dump, I can press paste. And now inside draw dump, I have those functions. Inside draw cab, I can cut all of this code, and then I can put it inside the draw cab curly braces. For draw wheels, I could copy all of this code, and then put it inside draw wheels. And then I have one more function, the background. So I can scroll up to the top, and then I can highlight all of the background, cut it, and then I can put it inside draw background. If I press play with my sketch, everything disappears. That's because inside the draw function, there are no other functions. Now we need to talk about calling a function. So for example, if I write draw cab and I press play, I get the cab drawn. Now I need to draw the rest of the functions. So I can add draw dump, and if I click play, now the dump is there. I'll go ahead and put on the auto refresh again. Now I have the draw wheels and then the draw background. And the background obliterates everything. So even when we call our functions, it still executes the code one line by one line. So if I move draw background to the top, now the draw background is behind the truck. I also need to move the wheels up. Now the truck is being drawn by four functions, and I can easily move these around, and then I can go into draw cab and make adjustments inside draw cab, and it can be a little bit easier to organize your code. Now there are many more reasons to use function. Most of the time is for repeatability, so that we can do things multiple times without writing so much code, and we'll examine how to do that. But at the very beginning, It's just a good idea to get in the habit of separating out your code into different parts. You may actually discover ways that you can make your code more modular and reusable. We'll come back to this truck and look at how we could make functions that actually accept values and change the parameters of the truck. But for right now, we've used functions to organize our code. Happy programming!